everybody, welcome back to another episode of Invicta Specs with John the Phone Guy. Today we have the Venom Hybrid Heritage. This is going to be the, of course, the SW200 specialty on the case and cradle, the Gen 2 Venom, and the Gen 5 on the crown. This is running the Selitta SW200 auto. And with that, we'll jump over to the bench and take a look. So see you there. Hey everybody, and here we are on the bench with the Venom Hybrid Heritage. This is model 32261. This is a limited edition. This happens to be number 266 of 500. This is a 51 millimeter case size, 50 atmosphere, 500 meter or 1650 feet water resistance. The crystal is flame fusion, and this is operating a Selitta SW200 automatic. The specs on that is it runs at 28,800 vibrations per hour, which comes out to 8 steps a second, which is why you get such a smooth motion. For that, the power reserve on this is approximately 38 hours. It is a 26 joule movement, and the standard deviation on this is about plus or minus 4 seconds a day. So I mean a good deviation in my opinion. I really love the Selitta movements. They're very accurate. This does have 12 diamonds, one at each hour marker. They're 0.9 millimeter in size, and they are white and clear, and I see a bunch of fingerprints because apparently when I grab stuff I put my fingerprints all over it. But anyway, so let's just go looking at this thing. We have the scissor deployant clasp on the back. Full dive with the keeper. I think it's kind of unique. This has a different texture, color to it, kind of separating it out. And of course, this is a full SW200 specialty case and cradle. As you can see, the cradle design from the SW200 specialty, which I'm a Venom person, but I find it kind of funny that they call this a Venom hybrid versus a SW200 hybrid, just because so much of this is SW200 specialty. The only thing Venom is the Gen 2 bezel, and then of course they incorporated the SW200 5 crown here, screw down with the paddles. Of course, without the chronograph, you don't have your A and B buttons, but and you can kind of see a different brushing detail on the actual case inside this cradle. We have on the back, of course, all the information, the water resistance. Just wanted to focus there. Swiss made 26 joules, AL signature where it's assembled, which is why it makes it final assembly, and I think it's like 60% Swiss parts and a bunch of other stuff, which is what the Swiss Federation considers now Swiss made. So this does fall inside those guidelines. And with that, we'll kind of look at this. This is a alloy dial, kind of a sun ray, as you can kind of see some of the movement around. I do like the blue cushions, the faceted cushions at the hour markers. Kind of has a Arctic look to it, along with the sword hands, a little bit of lume on the hands. And of course the diamonds, of course, down here we have the Swiss made and the automatic and the date window. Sorry, kind of blurred on me for a second, and all of that. But with that, let's set this guy down and go into the microscope and take a look. And here we have the hybrid under the microscope. Of course, I love the styling. Now this is just a standard metal alloy dial, no mother of pearl or anything, but I think what's unique about this is you've got this blue coloring around the hour marker cushions that have the the diamonds inside, and you've got some of the blue accents. It has sort of like a Arctic look to it, which I think is just a very clean, unique looking. Of course, this is a full Swiss-made version, which is, you know, in 2020 is a bit hard to come by here lately, so I appreciate that. Of course, you've got your reserve badging on the second-hand sweep, and of course, you know, as we can watch this, 8 steps a second really comes into play just how smooth this is. And of course, we've got the Subaquanoma 5 crown, and you know, some of the details of the Gen 2 Venom bezel, and of course, you know, we've got the refocus here. We've got all of the cage work, and you can see some of the detail between the polish, and there's your reserve label. But even just some of the way that, you know, this is all polished here, and this is kind of like an industrial finish, just very unique. Of course, on the back we have AL signature on here. Get focused here, sorry about that. This one's a little bit thicker, so it throws the focus off, and you can see the balance wheel moving back here and all of that, and go, you know, scissor deploying it on the class, and some of the details going around the limited edition. If I can catch the light correctly, we'll see some of those details. The limited edition 266 of 500 and all of that. Just a you know, a beautiful machine on the inside, and all of that. So we'll flip this guy back over, and with that, let's head back to the bench and finish this guy out. And here we are back from the microscope. So, you know, that was pretty cool taking a look at that. So I'm gonna put the calipers on this. I need to probably flip this upside down, because as you can see right there, the bezel kind of sticks out. So technically we should be measuring at the case itself. So I get, sorry, trying to get on the, so I get 50.6. So I mean, you know, a little bit of rounding, but you know, it's okay. So I'll measure as far as like the bezel. I get at the 10:4, I get 53.1. The height on this is going to be, you know, pretty substantial. So 20.2. The lug span, I'm going to go off these screws, so I get 35.7. The bracelet's going to taper from a 30.9 down to a 25.7. The link on this, we're going to go right at 5, and the span on this, I'm going to try and get right inside the middle of these screws just for perspective. So I get 52.2 on that. With this, let's pop it on the scale, see what we get. Of course, this is a hybrid, so it's going to be pretty hefty. So 11.8, which technically is not that bad, probably because I had to size it for me, so it's not quite as heavy because I took quite a few links out. But, you know, is what it is. And on the grams, sorry, 336 on the gram weight. So let's get this out of the way. And just, you know, quick look at this. Of course, you know, you've got the unidirectional bezel and all of that. And of course, I love the sweep motion on this. As we saw under the microscope, it's just so smooth and everything. And of course, you know, you're gonna unscrew this, and then, you know, you can spin it like this, or sometimes I'll just kind of spin my finger, pull it out. One. Oops, didn't quite get it. There we go. Change the date, pull it out again, change the time, and push everything back in. and of course push everything back and screw it down for the water resistance. So there we have that. It's wanting to play with me today, apparently. There we go. So, and of course, I have a 7-inch wrist, so I'll throw it on my wrist for perspective. So that's about, the size of it. I mean, it's a substantial watch, but it's got a fairly easy taper, so it can accommodate larger wrists for sure. And I would say just because of the way the bracelet is built, it would probably do even smaller, because you can see the way this thing moves and articulates. It really accommodates a wide range of wrist sizes, which I appreciate. And so with that, we'll set this thing right here and give a few shout outs to Instagram and YouTube friends. And we'll give a shout out to Smitten by Invicta on Instagram, Invicta Watches and Women's Fashion, and of course YouTube sensations Trap Vision 3D and the Lifestyle page, talking about all things collecting and family, and of course Tommy Big Time, focusing on bracelet sizing and battery changes and everything Invicta. Of course, Meat and I, journaling their weight loss surgery and entrepreneurship. And of course, D&Q, chronicling travel and food and fun. Tony Woe, Christian rapper, and his music and life perspective. And of course, I want to give a shout out to Unboxed Sneaks. Has a great show illustrating men's sneakers and the lifestyle and fashion that goes with it. And of course, we do the vast majority of our shopping on ShopHQ and Bulldog Shopping Network, as well as InvictaStores.com. There are so many Facebook groups. Sorry, couldn't quite get that one out. Of course, InvictaVets, being a vet myself, is kind of near and dear to my heart, but there are literally hundreds of different groups by region, other things that people collect and everything. So a great source of family and camaraderie, and sharing the passion of and the experience of owning Invicta watches. So with that, let me jump back and finish this video. Hey everybody, I wanted to close out the video by saying thank you for watching. I appreciate all the views and the comments, and it really means a lot. And with that, if you haven't subscribed, please hit the subscribe button over here. And I've also included a couple other video playlists over here and here to take a look at that you may be interested in. And with that, I say enjoy your Invicta watches, and I hope to see you next time on Invicta Specs. Take care.